So, good evening, children, and welcome to another amazing episode of Inspiring Young Minds. And today's session is very cute session. I'm sure all of us love it, and we love to give it, we love to receive it, and I'm sure we're going to love this session too. It is called the power of hug, right? So, let's get started. Good evening once again, and welcome to this Inspiring Young Minds session. We are in session 96. And our topic of today's discussion is going to be power of hug, right? Now, just looking at this picture, I guess, all of us are very excited because when we are very happy or when we feel sad or we want somebody to, just pamper us, all we need to do is outstretch our hands and, our mom or dad just come and hug us so tight. And then, whether we are feeling sad or happy, it neutralizes and it makes us feel very nice and we feel like, we are loved, right? So that's the power of a hug. So, as the saying goes, just a simple hug can be very powerful. It has the ability to reduce the stress, cure sadness, and heals any wound. So you can see that is the power of a simple, an action, which is the hug. Now, when we talk about a hug, just think about it. Who all do you hug, and when do you hug, and how do you feel when you hug, right? And what is basically the activity of a hug? You go and you outstretch your arms, and the other person from the opposite side, they outstretch their arms, and then you hold them. And when you hold them with either one hand or both the hands. And when it is a one hand, it is more of a casual hug, right? When you're, meeting just a friend. So you just, hold them from one side and you hug them. But then if it's somebody very close to you, how do you hug? You hug them with both your hands. Now, not only the number of hands which matters, it's the kind of the tightness you give when you hug a person, right? So if a person is just a friend or, you're just affectionate towards them, you just hug them. It would be a medium hug. But imagine it's some friend like you're meeting after a long time or somebody who is very close to you. How do you think that hug is going to be? It's going to be really that very tighty hug, right? So you're going to hold them and then you're going to give a nice crushing kind of a hug, right? So basically, a hug is to express the kind of a fondness you have or an affection you have towards one another. It's also called to nestle or snuggle a person, right? And the tighter the squeeze, as I told you, the more affectionate you are. But sometimes, people don't do that. They give a light or a loose hug they give. And this means that, the feelings are quite neutral. It is nothing very deep, right? And according to a research, basically, when you hug, what happens is you have a hormone called oxytocin, which is released in your body. Now, when this hormone is released, it's a sense of feeling wanted. It's a sense of feeling like being loved. A sense of feeling that you matter to the other person, right? And this is so very important because in today's world, when people don't care for each other or a little self-centered, these kind of love languages, physical touch is a love language, and when you hug a person, it's a physical touch, right? So this means that you're wanted or you're missed or you make a difference to the other person, right? And this oxytocin is basically, if you look at it, it's a female hormone, and this hormone is more on the bonding nature. So you would see mothers, they would be hugging their children, they'll be caressing their children, they'll be nurturing their children. Predominantly it's mothers. Then you would see grandmothers, aunts, cousins, all of them who are women who have this natural, innate quality in them which God has made to love each other, right? And when you have this oxytocin in your body, you also have a kind of, that emotional feeling in yourself. Not only the physical bond that you develop because of the hug, it's that emotional feel that you have, which gives you a kind of a contentment. It reduces anxiety. And also, if you're very stressed, it makes you, feel very lighter. And this same hormone, oxytocin, you have various ways where you can, produce oxytocin. So one could be, like a hug, that as we discussed right now. If you have some pets, and when you pet a dog or a cat, or any pets, you again have that kind of a feeling. When you get flowers, or when you give flowers, you have a feeling. When you do some kind of a yoga, meditation, or calm yourself, as oxytocin is produced. Mm, you also get it when you listen to music, a music which makes you feel very nice, very wanted. So that is also, a kind of a feeling which you get when you have a hug. And also when you get a body massage, so you will see some children, when the mother or the grandmother massages their legs and hands and all, they feel very happy. They are, they just love it, and they ask for more and more. So that's the feeling of, the release of oxytocin. And it's very important, because we say the dose hormones, no, DOSE. So D stands for dopamine, O is oxytocin, S is serotonin, and E is endorphin. And these dose hormones are the four major hormones, which is very important for a human being to even live. So, to feel loved is a very important emotion. So that is very important, and that is why this hormone is also very important. Now, when you hug each other, like, what could be the reasons when you, want to hug, or when you hug each other, right? So hug makes us very happy, and that is very important. And it also increases, our feeling of self-worth. So people, when they want to lose weight, when they want to reduce their appetite, they feel like, their when their mind or their heart, emotionally, they're very abundant in love. They feel like, to take care of themselves. That self love also becomes important. It also helps us to cope in very difficult situations. It slows down the aging process. When you see somebody who's in love, you will see that, they look young, they feel young, they behave like a very young person. And it also tones your body and provides you energy. You feel very refreshed, you feel very happy around it. And, it also helps people fight depression. So when somebody is going through a hard time, a very bad time, if a friend just goes and hugs them, they feel like, oh, there, that burden in their chest just comes down. So that's the reason. And these tight hugs are basically, if you look at it, you will see many, ways of showing or expressing this kind of an affection. You will see a mother showing it to the child, the father showing it to the child, the parents are in love with each other. So when they hug, it's a different kind of emotion. When you see grandparents, hug the children, when you see friends hugging each other, when you see, lovers hugging each other. So this kind of, basically, a hug would be something which is very, intimate. It is very personal. Not everybody would hug anybody and everybody, right? You will not just not walk on the road and, start hugging people. That's not possible, correct? But ultimately, if you look at it, that's a nice idea of being very friendly with people. Nevertheless, this, as I told you, a single hand hug or a double hand hug, the squeeze hug, all of this implies a lot of information. So when a person is really very affectionate towards you, you have a kind of a soothing atmosphere when they hug you, they support you, they encourage you. So, what is the power of the hug? Definitely, the more the merrier. You want more and more of this hug. So, it strengthens the immune system. So, you can see people fighting any long drawn diseases. You will see them feeling much better. Immunity improves. It makes them more patient, makes them to listen better, understand better. And it's a perfect treatment for stress and anxiety. Many people who are going through bad times, a power of hug would definitely help. It also helps helps self-esteem in children. So children, when you see where children who are hugged or children who are cared for, feel much more relaxed in their work and have better productivity in their work as compared to children who are not hugged at all. You can see the difference. And it also releases dopamine, which is a source of good feelings and motivations. I told you the dose hormones, so not only oxytocin, it also releases dopamine, and it helps to get through any painful or stressful situations. It releases oxytocin, as I told you, which fills you with happiness. It also conveys many emotions without saying a word. So when you just hug a person, uh, you don't have to say anything. There's no dialogue. There is a kind of inner calmness, inner sense of wantedness that makes you feel very nice. And it also balances the nervous system, which means if you're irritated, if you're frustrated, if you're angry, a hug would just lower it down, right? And it's a strong display of love and comfort and support between partners, between friends, between relationships, right? Now, when you see a woman, you would see a woman hug more than a man, because genetically, as I told you, women are made that way. They are very affectionate, very loving people, and this is not what we all are assuming. It is a study which is said, and mostly these hugs are innate, which means it's there in a person by themselves. But however, today with a lot of social media influence, with the environment, with a lot of life experiences, people are learning it, or trying to hone this skill or hone this kind of a quality in them. For a guy, when you look at him, he would hug with a reason, in the sense, like, if he finds himself quite intimate with a person, even just to say a hello or to make an eye contact and express himself, because men generally are non-demonstrative. So when they are interested in a person, they generally outstretch their hands and hug the person. And also, along with the kind of the pressure of the hug, it is very important to note the duration of the hug and the intensity of the hug. The more you're hugging, or the more time you take to hug, it means you're more closer, as against to just hugging and just leaving it. That's kind of called a casual hug, right? But when it is a hug for a longer period of time, it means it's very deep, it's very sincere, and it makes two people come closer in that kind of a love. So, as Bill Gates said, a hug is like a boomerang. You get it back right away, which means when you give it to somebody, obviously the other person is not just going to stand like that. No, they will also outstretch it. They'll also make you feel nice. And when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling upset, a simple hug is enough to lift your mood or make you feel happy, right? And this also is very important, especially in the mental and the physical well-being of a child, grooming of a child, or making the child feel that they are very important in a family, right? So, for caregivers, when I say caregivers, it could mean parents at home, grandparents, like extended families, aunts, uncles. It could also mean the teachers. So, it's very important to give the child a hug, as I had given you a number of examples, like how it is so important for building up the self-esteem of a child, to build their confidence, to make them feel nice, make them feel happy, make them feel loved, to release dopamine and oxytocin, to make them feel emotionally stable, to make them feel that somebody is there to take care, to relieve their stresses in case they are sad or feeling bad. Many children just want a hug to make a difference, right? So it helps both the giver and the receiver, and it is a kind of a comfort zone for the children also. So we at Inspiring Young Minds always bring some cute topics to children so that they can understand their world, and we as adults can make that bonding much better. So definitely you can like, share and subscribe, and comment and press on the bell icon at the Team Red Rockstars Dr. Vidya's Mind and Dip Clinic in our own YouTube channel. And thank you so much for a pleasant evening. So if you have any doubts, you can definitely ask. Deep.
Hi, Vidyaa.
Hi, dear.
I absolutely enjoyed today's session. I personally am a big fan of hugging. I do it as much as I can. I just go randomly up to my parents and go, "Can I have a hug? I want to hug you, please." And it's just like you were right. The warm feeling of someone holding you is just nice. And the session was very informative. I noted down everything you said, and I did not know that hugs can release um oxytocin, oxytocin and dopamine,
Oxytocin,
which is
yeah.
sorry, oxytocin and dopamine. It was very informative, and you made the session really nice again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I felt in today's world, many of us are either shy, not to express or demonstrate our love for each other, and sometimes we feel, is this hug very necessary? I mean, is it very important to hug this person? But many a times we have felt that even there is a fight between two friends, if you just hug and say I'm sorry, it just happened, whatever that anger was there, it just diffuses off immediately. And when you have not met a person for so long and you want to meet them, or you have just met them now, you feel like this hug would just bridge that gap, and people start talking the way they used to talk before. So the power of a hug is very important, and the more we can meet people and the more we can hug them and make them feel wanted, it's going to make a difference. So hug your parents and tell them that you love them, hug your siblings and tell them that you care for them, and hug your friends and make them feel special. So happy hugging time, and I hope you have a great weekend too, right?
You too.
Okay, then take care. Bye bye.
See you. Bye.